And it is not a common occurrence that Jordan Staal gets a hat trick. It's not a common occurrence. I was on Yahoo Sports. They gave me these numbers. 1,005 days since the last Jordan Staal hat trick. Before that, 13 years. He has the NHL record for longest amount of time between hat tricks for a player. And that wasn't this time, but the last time. From 2008, 13 years later to 2022, he went without a hat trick. So it's not normal. But I think it was him taking matters into his own hands a little bit. I think he's sensing a lot of the things that we're sensing watching this team. And finally he said, you know what? It's my brother's weekend. I'm going to go ahead and put the urgency out there that is necessary. Down 2-1, goal for the captain. Shorthanded, goal for the captain. Oh, we're going into the third period with a 1-goal lead. Insurance goal, seal it, goal for the captain. That is the attitude. That is the action. That is the aggressiveness. I mean, there are a lot of games he doesn't even take 3 shots. Like, there is a certain amount of decision, of intentionality from Jordan Staal yesterday that I think a lot of players on that roster should look at and go, gotcha. I see what you're talking about, Cap. Because he can't be that guy often, right? He is very much in the I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was portion of his career. He is, I'll give you another stat for you. He joins Jaromir Jagr as the only players in NHL history to have a hat trick at 18 years of age or younger and at 36 years of age or older. He's now in the 36 or older category. So he shouldn't and can't be the guy that when a team hits a slump or when a team feels a little slow or a little sluggish, he can't be the guy that drags them out of that every single time. He can be it occasionally. And hopefully that'll spark the guys that can do it more often, right? Hopefully, I believe one day Captain Aho is watching that and saying, oh, so that's what that's like. I knew it, but it was good to see it again. Next time, I'll be the one taking way more shots than usual when I feel a team needs that jolt. Hopefully Martin Necas was watching, going, I was scoring a bunch of goals early, but it was letting the game come to me. I have to learn how to do that thing where I force the issue a little bit and come away with a big game. Not saying every time you force the issue you get a hat trick or else then do it. But it's as much about trying to as it is about accomplishing it. Rod Brind'Amour after the game talked about seeing Staal get rewarded for everything he does.
Well, it's rewarding, and you're just happy for him because you kind of summed it up. You said everything there about him. Does a lot for us. It just goes unnoticed. And tonight it was nice to see that he got rewarded with a great game by him in his line. And he's a special player and does, like you said, he does so many things for us. It means a lot more than people give him credit for.
A lot more than people give him credit for. We'll give him his credit then. When nights like that, here's the thing about like giving flowers, right? Because everyone always you got to give them their flowers. That's one of the new things in sports, right? Before they retire, before they're gone, give them their flowers. They got to do something to spark it, right? I'm not just going to come in here on a night where Jordan Staal like grinds the other team's best line a little bit and leaves with a pretty good penalty kill percentage and a decent face-off, and then come in here and wax poetic for 20 minutes about how awesome Jordan Staal is.
Yeah.
Right? But after a game like that, a hat trick, right, it's not must-win, but I really want to win situation that could be a turning point after that game, yeah, I am going to come in here and talk about how good he's been over the last decade. I am going to talk about how he's led some of these young guys as they've grown along in their career. Now we'll talk about it. You got to do something though. You got to give me an inch. I'll open the door, but you got to leave it ajar a little bit for me.
This is something I think it was Corey Lavalette, North State Journal, had brought up about how every time the Canes lose a game, who's there to talk to the media? It's Jordan Staal.
Mm-hmm.
He faces the music for his team as the captain. He does all the stuff off the ice as the captain, stuff that, again, we don't actually get a chance to see. Doing all the dirty work that doesn't show up in a stat sheet. So see him get rewarded in this sense of getting the hat trick and getting goals at key times. It is nice to see. It's like, hey, you know what? When the team is doing bad or team is struggling, you are there to answer the questions. Now it's, you know what? They won because of you.
And that's not to say when he's doing the dirty work, they're not sometimes winning because of him.
Sure.
Also, it's harder to quantify those games.
Exactly. Now we can tangibly see it.
A hat trick is neon signs blinking, arrow at him. Hey, this was the guy today. And I talk about this as one of my kind of components of leadership. In bad times, if you're a leader, you would attract blame. You want everybody, arrows point them at me, coaches, quarterbacks, captains, those types of players, those types of athletes. In good times, deflect credit, right? If you're the leader, oh, it's my team. Oh, it's the young guys. Oh, it's the coaching. Like, you deflect. Jordan Staal, when there's a bad game, he talks to the media. I'm glad occasionally he gets to have the game like last night where he talks to the media also, and the credit gets directed towards him.
The throwing of the hats were, here are your flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. The hats are your flowers.
And way better than flowers, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Jordan Staal after the game on having a game like this at this point in his career.
It's cool. Obviously getting rewarded, with cookies is always a good thing. And you guys have seen my game. It hasn't changed, and it's been hard to play against us, finding ways to win games in a more simpler fashion. But when I get rewarded with them, like I said, it always feels good, and I'm going to continue to try to help in that way and any other way I can for this group.
There you go. I'm glad he got to say that. I'm glad there was a microphone finding him. Now the challenge, take that spark and turn it into a bonfire, right? Now it's, all right, Jordan Staal helped you. He was the reason why you won a game against a team like Toronto, who, by the way, good team. Like that's not a throwaway win. Tonight you have Vancouver. Not as good a team as Toronto. Hopefully you don't need a hat trick from Staal. If he wants to do it, yeah, we'll come in here on Monday and talk about it. Talk about it even more. And it's really a Staal weekend. But it's about taking the spark, right? When somebody makes the play, I always kind of cross-sport it to the sport I played in football. But like a slow game, if you're the quarterback or you're an offensive player, slow game, gross, maybe it's 10-7 in the third quarter, and your defense makes a crazy interception. Somebody jumps up one-handed. It looks like Odell Beckham Jr. to get an interception. They did their job, right? That's the spark. Now it's on the offense. The offense takes on the responsibility to run out onto the field and go turn it into points, right? Go score. What Jordan Staal did yesterday, that's his version of a one-handed leaping interception all the way back. Now it's up to, in this case, the offense, which would be the younger stars, to go, all right, he did his job. He sparked us. We were in a rut. We were in a lull. We were in a 10-7 game in the third quarter. He made the play. Now we have to go capitalize on it. We have to go score. Aho has to have a big game. Svetch has to have a big game. Jarvis, whoever wants to be the guy to grab that torch and run with it, it's now on them. Staal did his job. Shout out to the captain. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And maybe there is like some magic in that old number 12 jersey, just being kind of in the vicinity, being nearby, being on the way, that a Staal can just build off of.